Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show this on a Sunday. In this part of the Cricket Happening Show, it was, as you know, South Africa were requiring another 320 runs to win the first test match. It was definitely on the cards, but I definitely made a statement yesterday looking at the trend at how the mornings have actually panned out at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. Probably India were really probably looking in with a chance to get the victory, but what happened was something which would go down as one of the greatest test matches ever seen, and this was mainly due to the fact that the same persons who actually did this, as you would remember yesterday, I definitely made a mention of it. It was Faf du Plessis along with AB de Villiers who did it against Australia at the Adelaide Oval. Today it was the same. They not only had to, in fact what they did is something. The other day against Australia they took them to a draw, but today what AB de Villiers and du Plessis did was that they almost took South Africa to victory, and if at all South Africa would have won, this one would have gone down in history as one of the greatest chases in test matches, and or successful chases, I would say. And du Plessis and AB de Villiers once again did it, in the sense the last time they took it again there was another draw. So now du Plessis and AB de Villiers have really become synonymous with big draws in test matches, because this is the second time that they have done this. They did it at the Adelaide Oval, they once again did it here against India, and the only reason that South Africa were just 8 runs short was to the fact that Mone Morkel and Imran Tahir had padded up, and it was a bit of a surprise that South Africa finally decided to throw in the towel and decided that it is better to play for a draw. So that was a bit surprising at the end, but I thought the Indian bowlers did a very good job to prevent South Africa from going on to victory. One does not know what was whether probably the only reason that one could think of is that South Africa, as you know, they finished with 450 for 7 at the end of the first test match, and one could only feel that the reason that they did is probably with an injured Mone Morkel and Imran Tahir, genuine tailenders still to come, probably South Africa would have thought that one more wicket and it would have been curtains for them, because India could have definitely won this match. So that's the reason. So the match really gave a sort of during the end stages, because of the wickets that they lost of AB de Villiers himself and du Plessis, and also they lost JP Dumini's wicket, because this was a very huge partnership. In fact, just talking through the tale of the day, it all started with Alvaro Peterson and du Plessis at the crease, and in fact India tasted an early reward early in the morning with the score on 143. In fact, Alvaro Peterson had not even added to his overnight tally of 76, and Mohammad Shami castled him, clean bowled him for 76 with 9 fours, and then after that we saw the entry of Jack Scalise. Now Jack Scalise looked very impressive in his knock of 34 with 6 fours. He creaming them pretty powerfully and with a great sense of timing, but Jack Scalise was gone as Zahir Khan got a good delivery to him, and Jack Scalise was gone LBW to Zahir Khan for 34, and the score read 197 for 4. At 197 for 4 was the time du Plessis and AB de Villiers. Du Plessis was joined in by AB de Villiers, and now started the problems for India, because they have already showed their mettle, as you know. They have already shown what they could do against Australia at the Adelaide Oval, and today once again AB de Villiers and du Plessis, both of them enacted a great show here at the Wanderers in Johannesburg by really blunting the Indian bowlers. In fact, as far as du Plessis was concerned, well, they were very watchful. They had really decided that initially they will play for a draw, and probably in the final session they would go for victory. And du Plessis and AB de Villiers blunted this Indian attack, whether it be pace or spin, and decided to march in their own way and march they did. They marched on from 197 for 4 to put up a double century partnership of 205 very valuable runs to raise the South African score to 402, with a contribution from du Plessis 134 runs, facing 309 deliveries with 15 fours. De Villiers going on to make 103 with 12 boundaries, and both of them, as I said, they took their chances. But what was important was that, what was very surprising as far as this day was concerned is that for the first time we saw that there were no collapses at the Wanderers in Johannesburg on the morning of the day in the first session, because we have seen this has been the general trend. But one has to really credit. In fact, if du Plessis and AB de Villiers had actually taken South Africa to victory, as I said, this would have been the greatest successful chases in Test history. But unfortunately, that couldn't happen. And they had done all their hard work. They had seen off 2 sessions for South Africa. But in the final session, even though India took the new ball after lunch, even then the wickets were not coming. It was, I would definitely say that du Plessis and de Villiers had their moment of luck too, but well, that is something which one could always expect. And well, what a show! I mean, they have become really synonymous with eking out great draws in Test matches, and they can always be sure. South Africa could always be sure whenever du Plessis and AB de Villiers are at the crease that the match could be drawn. So that's the realization, and that's the belief that they have given the South African fans world over. I mean, to the South African fans, that if these 2 players at the crease, the match could be drawn, whatever be the case. Such was their dominance over the Indian bowlers, and well, they did, as I said. And then in the final session, India struck back. It all started with the first wicket to go, de Villiers, as de Villiers was clean bowled by Ishant Sharma for 103, and after that Duminy came in, and Duminy was also dismissed. Probably if Duminy would have been there, probably that would have been good for them, but unfortunately Duminy was a victim of Mohammad Shami for 5, and that made the score 407 for 6. And suddenly Vernon Philander came into bat, and in fact they came almost 20 runs close to victory, and that was the time they lost the wicket of Faf du Plessis. Du Plessis was out when the score was 442, when that was a brilliant piece of fielding. In fact, du Plessis wanted to hit a boundary, and Ajinkya Rahane did a good piece of fielding there, and immediately threw down the stumps in one action, and that's what brought the end to this South African innings. In the sense, du Plessis was run out for 134 with 15 fours and 442 for 7 with Philander and Steen at the crease. The South African team decided that they should be putting the shutters, because this was now the match had suddenly turned with 2 new batsmen at the crease with Vernon Philander and Dale Steen. Probably South Africa would have thought that if at all they take the risk of going for runs or going for victory, India could sneak in a victory here by getting those wickets, because Moni Morkel was injured in the hat, and they are all genuine tailenders, Moni Morkel and Imran Tahir. And well, so finally South Africa decided that they will throw in the towel, and they decided not to go for the victory, and that was it. The match ended. But as I said, one of the great Test matches witnessed here at the Wanderers in Johannesburg, which would be remembered for quite a long time for the efforts of du Plessis and AB de Villiers with their centuries, with their stonewalling efforts there. Philander was not out on 25 with 3 boundaries. Dale Steen was not out on 6. 450 for 7. Now the only thing, if you look at the margin was just 8 runs. If at all South Africa could have got 8 runs, they would have taken this Test match. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And player of the match went to Virat Kohli, justifiably so. And considering the fact that this is a 2-match series, well, the series is level at 0-0, with the second one, which is going to be played on Boxing Day on 26th, as you know, as is customary after the Christmas, and it would be played at I think it is going to be played at Durban. Well, just talking about the bowling figures, Zahid Khan, 34 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 135. So the wickets were shared. Mohammad Shami bowled pretty well in this particular Test match. 28 overs, 5 maidens, 107 runs and 3 wickets. 1 for 91 for Ishant Sharma. Ashwin looked up. I mean, Ashwin couldn't really penetrate. It was pretty surprising with all the cracks there on the pitch. It was pretty surprising. I thought one has to really credit the South African batting. I thought the Indian bowling should have made more inroads and probably not allowed de Villiers and du Plessis to go on like this. But unfortunately, that was the case for India. Ashwin didn't look penetrative at all. 36 overs, 5 maidens, none for 83. And that was the match story as far as the first test match went. And the first test match finally ended at the Wanderers in Johannesburg in a very brilliant manner, where first South Africa were trying to save the match, and after that they were trying to go for a draw, and then they recovered, and then when they came close they lost 3 wickets in the final session, and finally they had to throw in the towel, and they decided that it's better to eke out a draw rather than go for the runs and probably pour some take some mud and put it on themselves. And finally the final tally for South Africa, 450 for 7. So the Boxing Day test, it would be played at Durban. Well, so now let's get on to the third one-day international, Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. As you know, the Pakistan-Sri Lanka clashes have been pretty close. So this was the first clash in the third one-day international, which was played at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium, which really didn't go down to the wire. And Pakistan, after putting a very big total, once again a 300, going past the 300 mark, 326 for 5 of their 50 overs. The Sri Lankan innings, they were all out for 213, and well, this was the first match in this one-day international series where one could safely say that that Pakistan totally dominated with both bat as well as ball, and Pakistan going on to a very comfortable victory by 113 runs. Looking at the Pakistan card here, they made 326 for 550 overs. Now, one thing that one would probably question it is that Sri Lankans were the ones who actually won the toss, and probably Angelo Matthews, the Sri Lankan captain, probably keeping that view in mind that probably dew could be a factor in the late evening in Sharjah. He decided that he would insert Pakistan to bat first. Now, what one saw was that Pakistan actually took advantage of being put in by Angelo Matthews and went on to score 326. Now, the feature was Ahmed Shahzad once again playing a very neat little innings, showing lots of consistency by making 81. He was run out by a direct throw from Malinga. 81 of 89 balls with 6 fours and 2 sixes. In fact, Shahjil Khan today was dismissed pretty early by Kulashekara. He was clean bowled for 2, and then this was the big partnership which ensued between Ahmed Shahzad and the other person was Mohammad Hafiz. Now, Mohammad Hafiz, as you know, he has been in some horror form. He made his got his place back in the Pakistan team, and this is his second ton of the series, and that was a big ton at that. And he was there to see Pakistan to 326 for 5 with an individual contribution of 140 unbeaten runs of 136 balls with 11 fours and 3 sixes. And also the strokes that he played, he was pretty strong square of the wicket. He also played some very good lofted shots of the spinners, and his innings was really a real study for everybody, because he started initially he started staying at the crease, nudging the singles, and just hitting the odd boundary, and then when it finally came towards that Pakistan got into a good dominant position, he decided to slam the bowlers for 4s and 6s, and that's the reason he finished at unbeaten 140. Sohail Maqsood showed some real, in the sense he showed some real hitting prowess here by contributing 21 runs of as many balls with 1 4 and 2 6s. He went after Sachitra Sen and Naike. It was Pereira actually deposited for 2 6s, and then there was some impetuosity showed by Sohail Maqsood as he went on to hit. He tried to hit a third 6 of the bowling of Pereira, but the ball really went into the air. Senanaike picked up the catch. He was gone for a quick fire 21 of as many balls with 1 4 and 2 6s. After that, Misbah-ul Haq came and gave very good company to Mohammad Hafiz to keep the scoreboard moving, and also keep them moving in a big way by contributing 40 good runs of 26 deliveries, in which he had 3 fours and 2 sixes, and his 2 sixes were hit of the seam bowlers, the Sri Lankan seam bowlers. And then Umar Akmal towards the end, clattering 23 of 12 balls, an unbeaten 23 of 12 balls with 1 4 and 2 sixes. And Shahid Afridi was clean bowled by Malinga for 2. 326 for 5 was the final tally that Pakistan had after 50 overs. Let's look at the bowling figures of the Sri Lankans. As far as the Sri Lankan bowling was concerned, Kulashekara, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 67 was costly. Malinga, I have to definitely say, this is the third one-day international. Malinga's bowling is something which is not really, one is not really seeing the real Malinga bowling, because he has been leaking a lot of runs against Pakistan in this 3 one-day internationals. He leaked 58 runs with 1 wicket to his name. Sachitra Senanayake, none for 58 of his full quota of 10 overs. Pereira, 8 overs, 2 for 58 was costly. Prasanna Sekugge, 8 overs, no maiden, none 46. Angelo Matthews bowled 4 overs. He was carted for 29 runs. Now, as far as Sri Lanka were concerned, for Sri Lanka, well, they didn't have a good start. They lost. In fact, it was Umar Gul who actually came into the Pakistan team. In fact, as you know, he was out due to injury, and so he was making his return to international cricket. And what a return Umar Gul had! He came in and picked up the wicket. First, he picked up the wicket of Thisara Pereira, who was brilliantly caught by Ahmed Shahzad. It was a cracking shot by Pereira, but Ahmed Shahzad, he has already shown that he is a wonderful fielder in that point region, and he picked up the catch of Thisara Pereira in a real flash there of the bowling of Umar Gul for 7. Umar Gul was absolutely happy, why not? And then what he did is, in the same over, he picked up the wicket of Karunaratne, who was caught brilliantly by Umar Akmal, who dived to his dived and took the catch. It was a good catch taken by Umar Akmal of the bowling Umar Gul. And Umar Gul, in his very first over on his comeback into international cricket, had struck two big blows for Pakistan there, and by reducing Sri Lanka to 17 for 2. After that, Sangakkara came in. Sangakkara couldn't contribute much. In fact, he hit one good. In fact, Sangakkara looked like a man in a hurry. 14 of as many balls, 2 fours and 1 6. He departed for the bowling of Junaid Khan, and Dilshan was the only one who was looking good, stroking the ball pretty in a very fierce manner. In fact, we are looking like the old Dilshan there, because if you look at his knock, he scored 59 runs of 62 balls with 10 fours before Shahid Afridi got a ball which Dilshan tried to cut. I thought it was too close to him, missed it, and it went on to hit the stumps. So Shahid Afridi taking the wicket. So Dilshan was gone for 59 of 62 balls with 10 fours. After that, Dinesh Chandimal, there were 2 new batsmen at the crease. So wickets were picked up at regular intervals by Pakistan there, with Chandimal was joined in by Angelo Matthews, the Sri Lankan captain, and both of them slowly started consolidating things for Sri Lanka. They took over at the score of 103 for 4, and they'd taken the score to 132. And Chandimal, he looked very good in his stroke making. In fact, he was hitting the ball very well. He was really using his feet well to the spinners of Mohammad Hafiz and the other spinner Saeed Ajmal. In fact, he also tried to he almost hit a 6 of the bowling of Saeed Ajmal. But well, as you know, they are all smart bowlers, and Mohammad Hafiz got Chandimal to actually mistime a delivery, and Shoaib Maqsood in the deep taking the catch. He was gone for a very good 36 of 53 balls with 3 fours. Angelo Matthews, the captain, was there. He was looking in good touch, and he was, as you know, he has a lot of wrist power, Angelo Matthews. So when he hits the ball, it's like just whipping the ball to the fence. Such is his power. And one of the sixes that he hit of the bowling of Saeed Ajmal, in fact, went out of the Sharjah Cricket Stadium, and it also went and one landed on the roof. And so such was the power, and Angelo Matthews decided to have a real go at the spinners. His contribution was 44. So as far as Angelo Matthews was there, he was joined in by Kulashekara, who came in ahead of Sekugge Prasanna, but Kulashekara was gone, as Kulashekara got an edge. In fact, that was a ball from Saeed Ajmal which actually kept low, and Kulashekara was beaten, and in the process of actually playing the delivery, Kulashekara had actually wandered. He got an edge onto it, and Umar Akmal behind the stumps did the rest. So that made it 136 for 6. And then suddenly there was some hope when Angelo Matthews was joined in by Sekugye Prasanna. Of what one saw Sekugye Prasanna, we have seen that he definitely has the power to send the ball soaring over the fence, and that's what he precisely did. In fact, he contributed a very good innings of 22 of 15 balls by slamming Saeed Ajmal for a wonderful 6, and then Mohammad Hafiz, he just stood there and slammed him for another 6. Sekugye Prasanna, well, he has the power, he has a good timing, he has a good eye, I suppose, and Sekugye Prasanna contributed 22 of 15 balls with 2 4s and 2 6, and that took the score, that gave some momentum to the innings, because when at the 31st over the score was 136 for 6 when Nuwan Kulashekara departed, and then there was some impetus given with the 26-run partnership in 3 overs between Angelo Matthews, the Sri Lankan captain, and Kulashekara, but then, sorry, not Kulashekara, Sekugye Prasanna, who departed for 22 when Mohammad Hafiz tempted him into another big hit, and he was gone. After that, Tisra Pereira was out to the bowling of Junaid Khan for 2, trying to hit the ball. It was a very good catch taken by Shahid Afridi, who ran in and took the skyer in a brilliant manner. And then after that, it was a mere formality. Malinga was bowled by Umar Gul for 19 of 27 balls with 4 4s. Senanayake remained not out on 4. And the Sri Lankan innings couldn't, as I said, they kept on losing wickets at regular intervals. They never looked like really giving Pakistan a challenge there, and they were all out for 213. As far as the bowling figures are concerned, Junaid Khan 9 overs no maiden 2 for 40. Umar Gul on his comeback bowled excellently, 5.4 overs no maiden, 19 runs and 3 wickets for him. Shahid Afridi 1 for 41. Bilawal Bhatti, well, I thought he bowled well, even though his figures don't reflect. 6 overs no maiden, none for 39. He hits the deck very hard there. Saeed Ajmal, as usual, economical and the wicket taker. 10 overs 1 maiden, 237. Hafiz also did his bit, 5 overs for 35 runs and 2 wickets. Pakistan now have taken a lead in this 5-match one-day international series at 2-1. Mohammad Hafiz, the Centurion, who made 140, was named man of the match. Well, dear fans, friends and subscribers, now we are coming to this end of this cricket happening show now. Well, we don't have much fixtures coming in as far as India and South Africa, Australia, England are concerned. It's only going to be the Boxing Day test matches as is customary. But we do have a Christmas match which is going to happen, and this is going to happen, this is the 4th one-day international, which will be played on the Christmas Day, that is on 25th of December, and that will be between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, and it will be played at Abu Dhabi. Well, dear fans and subscribers, as I've already covered yesterday, that England's ace-off spinner Graham Swan had retired. I've already spoken about that. One thing before I leave, I would like to just tell you here, is that Zahir Khan got his 300th test wicket in this first test match today, that is on the final day against South Africa. And as far as Saeed Ajmal is concerned, Saeed Ajmal has taken the maximum wickets for Pakistan in a calendar year by taking 102 wickets, surpassing the former Pakistan off-spinner Sakline Mushtaq, who held the record with 101 dismissals, in the sense 101 victims. But Saeed Ajmal has taken his tally to 102 today, so he has become, he holds the record for the most number of wickets by a Pakistani bowler in a calendar year. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this very note, your host Ram is ending the cricket show for today. But as usual, this cricket happening show will again be coming to life tomorrow when I see you all in my next cricket happening show. Until then, it's goodbye on this Sunday. Thank you.